You just know somebody was sitting around one day at a network meeting and said, you know what we need? Glee for country music lovers. Nashville on ABC, new television show this year, is a show about, well, the country music scene and what happens when an upstart country pop star kind of clashes with a stalwart country legend and how that battle ensues. Hayden Panettiere, I think is how you say her name. I probably butchered it. Whatever. The cheerleader from Heroes, stars as the upstart pop star. And Connie Britton, who you may know from Friday Night Lights, is the established country star. And they are what make this show work. And it does work. Nashville's a good show. And no matter how it got pitched, no matter what the meeting was, which I assume had something to do with having a musical show on television about country music, they've come up with a pretty good product here, and I think it works for a couple main reasons. One, the music in this show is integrated into the story in a really interesting and good way, and I think it's good music, and that's coming from somebody who doesn't like country music. Now, of course, that may mean that I'm wrong, because if I like it, maybe it's not country enough for people who like country music usually. But I think these songs are sweet, they sound country to me, and they further the story in the singing of these songs while at the same time being integrated into the story in a way that doesn't seem forced or unreal. And I think that's a big deal with a show like this, because otherwise it loses some of its dramatic tension. It loses a little bit of that solidity to what's going on here. And the performances are good. Connie Britton's great, Hayden's great, as well as Powers Booth chewing up a little bit of scenery here, and several others who do a good job. And I think overall this is a show that you can watch from beginning to end. And it's not the same as every other show on TV. It's not another crime procedural where you're trying to solve a mystery. It's about relationships and this very real dynamic of young versus old and new versus established, and what happens when those two come together. And I think those are very powerful and real human emotions. There's also, of course, a lot of dramatic tension in the families and in the relationships and in previous affairs and different things like that that tell a very intricate and interesting story, I think. Long term, I'm not sure where this show goes. I don't feel like it has one of those long-term ending points, which can be a good thing, but can also make it feel where are we going? What's the end game with a show like Nashville? But if it's just to hear some good songs and tell some interesting stories every week, I think I'm in.